There, mates. Fit to sail any sea. Now, Sora, one final inquiry. Is there any particular reason you wanted this ship?
Yeah! To explore the seas. Free as the wind.
Good answer. You are a pirate. Captain Sora.
But Jack, why do you keep saying final? Like you're leaving.
Ah, it's because this me has run his course, mate.
This you?
Aye, the surrogate me, that the goddess of the sea sent here to help you lot. Of course, any me is still me. I may be duplicatable, but I'm always incomparable. The sea, she smiles upon us, Sora, and let's leave it at that, shall we? For now, the real me has a crucial engagement. At Shipwreck Cove, where the pirate brethren will meet Beckett and his lot in battle to win back our freedom.
Then let us help.
No, it's for pirates to resolve, but not you, Sora. You're as free as the wind now, and far you'll go.
Oh!
So, Jack was showing us the way.
Even if you did get cracked. Grr.
Jack, he said it was the pirates' battle to fight. But a fight for pirates is a fight for us! Come on, let's find the real Jack.
You made a deal with me, Jack, to deliver the pirates. And here they are. Don't be bashful. Step up. Claim your reward.
Sparrow! Your debt to me is still to be satisfied. 100 years in servitude aboard the Dutchman. As a start.
That debt was paid, mate.
You escaped.
I propose an exchange. Will leaves with us, and you can take Jack.
Done.
Undone.
Done.
Jack's one of the 9 pirate lords. You have no right.
King,
As you command, your nibs.
Scurvy blackguard!
Easy there, mate. You wouldn't want to damage the leverage now, would you?
Now. Advise your brethren. You can fight, and all of you will die, or you cannot fight, In which case, only most of you will die.
We will fight. And you will die.
Jesus fucking Louises. Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3, and, yeah, if I can kind of talk about something right off the bat, I mean, if there is any slight problems I do have with this world, it is that it very much has to sort of front-load a lot of its cutscenes to get the plot of the World's End done and dusted, but, well, yeah. Again, it's pretty much a lot of cutscenes, but from here on out, it is very much, smooth sailing as the game finally lets you off the leash, for the lack of a better phrase, and allows you to pretty much explore the island off the coast of Port Royal. So yeah, we have a lot of land to explore, and indeed we also have a lot of the ocean to explore, but for the sake of expediency, I'm also going to be cutting down on travel time, as most of your commute is basically just going to be sailing the seven seas, and, well, getting into battles with pirate ships. So, yeah, I'm only really going to be showing the mandatory battles. Again, everything that I mentioned before is very much in effect here. Again, you can upgrade your ship via collecting crabs, you know, it'll basically improve your armaments, your health, your defense. It's not quite as expansive as something like, say, the Gummy Ship or Sora himself, where you have to level him up and all that. Again, you pretty much only have levels 1 through 8, I believe, and by the time you hit level 8 by collecting a set amount of crabs, well, then you get a special reward. As I mentioned previously, you pretty much get the Black Spot, which is Captain Jack's ship, which is pretty much equal in terms of your level 8 ship, which, yeah, so it's more of an aesthetic thing in terms of change, but yeah, all of that aside though, it's a decently nice reward, so quite frankly, yeah, I'm fairly happy with, you know, some of the changes that we get. But all that aside though, a majority of this part is basically going to be dedicated towards exploring the island, so yeah, as you can imagine, and again, if you're looking down at the timeline of this video, your eyes do not deceive you, this is very much, you know, a 47-minute part, and while not exactly the beefiest in terms of things we've covered, even in relation to Kingdom Hearts-related things, really. Yeah, this is basically going to be Spartan gameplay where we're not really going to be accomplishing much apart from finding treasure chests, you know, exploring various islands here and there, and, in essence, just basically doing gameplay stuff for gameplay's sake. Yeah, which is primarily just exploring for synthesis materials and, well, again, just, you know, monetary gain, really. But again, in a similar vein to Sly 3, really, it's not exactly something that I find necessarily boring, both on a playthrough or, you know, even a watching basis necessarily, because again, you are exploring the land, you are getting, you know, all sorts of different secrets and things to find, so, again, there are, you know, it is worthwhile to see and do. It's just a matter of finding something insightful to say as we collect the money. Then, yeah, plenty of ingredients, plenty of synthesis materials, and cash to behold. And, yeah, trying to find something insightful to say throughout all of that might prove to be a bit of a challenge, especially given how rusty I've been in terms of my commentary over the last two parts. But whatever, I'm sure I'll be able to find a way to stumble and bumble my way to victory. Sort of. We're rich beyond our wildest dreams. Well, luckily for you, however, in terms of anything else, I have, as a matter of fact, been able to sort of scour some pirately trivia, so hopefully that might while away some of the wee hours as we, you know, explore some of the land. So, yes indeedy, let's actually get to the origin of our traditional pirate as it was during this era. You know, I mean, as opposed to modern pirates, those are quite different, and, well, some would say slightly more dangerous, if slightly less silly and memorable, because they're not the kind of pirates that go, "Yar me hearties," they're more likely to, you know, rob you, molest you, and, murder you. So yeah. Modern pirates. Well, I mean, then again, not exactly as if the old traditional pirates are really that much different, it's just that some tend to be quite different. But in any case, to kind of get into it here, really, yeah, the origin of your typical pirate from this era, you know, primarily the stuff that, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever was based on, yeah, that primarily came from mutineering shipmen against tyrannical naval captains who, yeah, basically we're giving them the business, pretty much, you know, throwing their weight around in authority, and, yeah, apart from that, you know, the shipmen basically said, fuck this, no more. They mutinied, and basically, when they went against their captains, they had nowhere else to go, so thus, you know, became pirates of the Seven Seas. There is also something interesting in terms of racial history here, where a lot of black slaves were, again, if they rebelled against their masters and, you know, managed to escape, they often had to resort to piracy with nowhere else to go, simply because, well, yeah. I guess I had no home to return to, or anything else, or families to... yeah, which is also why, again, piracy, in a bit of an unintentional way, was slightly more multicultural. Or at least often had a lot of black crews in terms of, you know, historical stuff. So yeah, piracy. It's a loving and involving gang. Me hearties. So yeah, that gives you a bit of a history about the origins of your traditional pirates. Though, I mean, often comparing them to modern pirates of the slightly more darker and deranged, okay, I don't think much, well, okay, I suppose a lot has sort of changed in the, or that kind of aspect, but, yeah. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about piracy, if you can probably tell, but, yeah, that's part of why I have a few bits and pieces of trivia here and there to sort of, explore. Ooh, a star charm. That's lovely. But yeah, what you'll typically be finding, apart from just small bits and pieces of treasure here and there, is just, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I am also cutting down on a lot of faffing about, so, yeah, the flashes on the map is basically going to be telling you what islands you can explore, and, yeah, in keeping with, you know, this game having conveniences and quality of life improvements, yeah, you do actually have, fast travel capabilities towards islands you visit, so again, if you want to... you know, sort of zip around the map towards certain areas without, you know, getting into pirate struggles, then you can pretty much teleport to a certain island that you've been to before. And bada bing, you do the thing, you can pretty much get around the ocean, no fuss, no muss. So many crabs. Delicious, tasty crabs. And I suppose getting into it, since, again, by the time you finish faffing about with the ocean, where you only really have one destination to go to, again, it's pretty much following the fog until you pretty much, you know, hit basically what's the final battle between you know, Pirates of the Caribbean and the World's End, is, yeah, just, I forgot what I was going to say, thank Nomine, but, yeah, to kind of get back on topic with what I was planning-ish to say, oh, damn it, I hate it when that happens, I say something, but then I forget what I was going to say immediately after. Damn it. Oh well, in any case, so, good old Happy Gear. Yeah, we also have a new attack with the Kingdom Key, really. Basically just taking the key and using that little light stab upward. Because Sora's, oh, he's a little special boy with the light inside of him. Thank God, Goofy knows what to do. I can finally sleep easily now, knowing that Goofy knows what to do. Yeah, to kind of talk more pirate trivia, I did actually try and find something a little bit more out on the Davy Jones. Not specifically the character in Pirates of the Caribbean, but specifically, you know, the mythological creature of Davy Jones, who, again, is basically meant to be... Well, that's kind of the thing, really. I mean, being based in mythology, there isn't really, like, a lot of a set... idea of what Davy Jones really is, apart from the fact that, you know, he was a seafaring pirate captain who's, again, either been related to, you know, satanic devil worship, others, you know, think sort of Cthulhu kind of thing, you know, as is partially the inspiration for, you know, Squidmouth that, you know, he is in this incarnation. But, yeah, I didn't really find too much interesting to really grasp onto. But I did find out something else. Did you know that singer David Bowie's given last name was Jones? So technically, he was a real-life Davy Jones. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a lot of the good trivia. I'm curious, actually, does Disney own the movie Labyrinth? I don't know, could have been a potential world for Quadratum? Yeah, maybe, I suppose. In any case, though, onwards to new adventure, as we explore the Seven Seas. And, I think I might have mentioned this before in some of the earlier parts of Pirate Land, but I mean, again, this is... Again, like, I mean, if Final Fantasy 1, or, you know, any of the earlier Final Fantasy specifically, were ever to get a remake, I do imagine that a lot of the sailing stuff would probably be handled kind of like this, or at least I'd hope so. You know, I mean, at the very least, handled like this, you know, in a time before you end up getting the airship and, you know, the skies are pretty much yours to command. I don't know, I did always sort of see Kingdom Hearts 3 as a potential way that that could have been handled, but... Then again, I think in terms of remakes for what, you know, Square Enix is really doing for Final Fantasy these days at the very least. Again, while 7 is still making its rounds, probably nothing in sight. There was also the rumored Final Fantasy 9 remake, which, potentially speaking, I don't know if it's still happening. I suppose it could be, but they're just keeping incredibly quiet about it, or either that or it might be silently canned, but yeah, who knows really. I mean, again, I wouldn't deny people a Final Fantasy, you know, 9 remake, given how beloved it is in the fanbase, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess maybe, Strangers in Paradise is probably about the closest you're gonna really get to a sort of Final Fantasy 1-esque remake. And even then, they were still markedly different, what with the whole I have to destroy Chaos Crew angry Jack Garland kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, again, in spite of, like, a lot of people's mixed opinions on that game, I would love to see, like, that version of Jack Garland in Kingdom Hearts 4 just to interact with happy-go-lucky Sora. I don't know. I think it might be quite a fun interaction, but I kind of doubt it at this rate. Yeah, by the way, a lot of these islands do actually have names. So, again, like, I mean, the islands that we're visiting right now is called Sandbar Island. Shaped like a sweaty donut. And, yeah, plenty of fish to kill, heartless to exterminate, crabs to eat. Yes, indeedy, I do want to lie shipwrecked and comatose, drinking fresh mango juice. With goldfish shoals nibbling at my toes. Fun, fun, fun in the sun, sun, sun. Yeah, by the way, you can also technically pinch fish as your ingredients while you're swimming around here. As you'll see, hopefully, right around now, yes. Delicious sea bass. Fishies for everybody. Fighting the Heartless and destroying the Heartless underwater with our magical powers like sea fire. I'm sure there is a way for fire to burn underwater potential. Well, again, maybe not technically because you're starving out of oxygen. And then again, there are technically things like, you know, oil fires and, you know, chemical fires and stuff like that, so maybe, I might be talking out me butt, and I need more scientific knowledge. Yes, indeed, me butt! I think it's time yeah, and that's pretty much the level up screen that you get whenever you get a set amount of crabs. But in any case, though, time for more trivia about, piracy. Yeah, this time it's specifically about the, you know, the pirate Captain Blackbeard. Basically, he was kind of crazy, very brutish, and, yeah, he basically went into battle with, lit cannon fuses in his beard. So, yeah, not only causing potential risks to himself, but, yeah, he was fucking dangerous. A pirate? That's not the image we want for Long John Silver. But, yeah. I do also seem to recall, actually, that in terms of Blackbeard's execution, that apparently, like, in terms of actually proving that the man was dead, that, yeah, they beheaded him and basically had him, stuck his head on a pike in the center of town just to sort of prove that, you know, the menace of Blackbeard was over. So, yeah, brutal times back in ye old, pirate days, me hearty. That being said, I do actually have to wonder how exactly, like, a lot of the pirate dialect, for lack of a better phrase, really got started. Like, and I'm talking specifically, like, I mean, if you use phrases like "army hearty," "sail the seven seas," with "shiver me timbers," and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, how exactly that got started. Like, if it was a mix of kind of things. Like, you know, maybe it had, like, bits of, you know, Caribbean dialect mixed with, you know, ye old Britishy English or all that kind of stuff. I don't know, I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about where accents sort of got their origin from, but, I don't know. I'm just wondering where specifically it came from, or if it was just sort of a coincidence, or maybe it was just an exaggeration that, you know, television and history sort of, you know, pasted with us over the years. Delicious, heartless to destroy. Perchance to kill, perchance to eat. Yes indeedy. Yeah, by the way, there is actually a certain mechanic you can actually use against these little sandworms right here. I don't know if I show it off. I might have shown it off before, or I might show it off later, but yeah, there is actually a mechanic where, again, if you use Goofy Bombardier, then you can actually get, you know, Goofy to be fed into the mouth of that, you know, little sand creature. And, yeah, basically he takes it out from the inside and destroys it in one fell swoop, regardless of how big its health bar is. So, yeah, interesting bit of mechanical adapted to Kingdom Hearts 3, with, using the very literal power of friendship. Yes, indeed, when Sora uses the power of friendship, he means it. By the way, check it out down there. See that, lucky emblem over there? Shaped into the cavern? Yeah. Surprised I didn't notice it first offhand, but then again, I guess I was distracted by violence. Oh, delicious, tasty violence. But yeah, I mean, all that aside though, that's just, yeah, lucky emblems. Don't worry, we'll be getting it in a cleanup video, so yes, you will be getting your dues in terms of what we're seeing, what we're cleaning up, and all that sort of malarkey. But I guess to sort of, you know, detail the cleanup videos in and of themselves, since we are pretty much getting nearer towards that. I mean, again, we still have the next world to go through before we do that, but yeah, basically we're going to be having the lucky emblems in one video, then we're going to be having, you know, a lot of the mini-games in another video. I might potentially include, you know, some of the flans as their own thing, although I might just include them in the mini-game video just to save time. But, yeah, I don't want it to go over, like, 2 or 3 parts, really, so... Oh, look, treasures! We've hit the mother lode! Tasty. Adamantites. Yeah, a lot of what you're going to be getting here is mainly just adamantite and all that kind of stuff, but, yeah. Oh, tasty. So much orichalcum. Oh, delicious crabs everywhere. Oh, wonderful. Yar, landlubbers, we have the booty. And not the arse variety. Actual booty. Treasure. Yes, indeedy. So I guess making a bit of a switch up from, you know, pirate trivia to Kingdom Heartsian trivia, actually, is, yeah, some ideas from Kingdom Hearts 1 that didn't quite make it into the final game. One of which being was one of Tetsuya Nomura's wacky ideas of putting Walt Disney himself into the game, which, again, whether for reasons of respect or for the fact that they, you know, didn't really want the man who built the Disney company to begin with to have his name sullied, yeah, that was rejected. Which does make me wonder, again, was Yensid's role potentially going to be taken up by Disney himself in that case? Not really too sure, but again, I guess it would have been interesting to see. But, yeah. Another one of Tetsuya Nomura's ideas, in terms of early story content, as we are, you know, sort of surfing about the islands right here, exploring to our heart's content, is that Ansem Seeker of Darkness, who, again, and you can kind of see this in the final game itself when Sora explores the, you know, the secret place, you know, with the door, you know, which hides the hidden keyblade, and, you know, all that stuff that we saw, you know, right at the beginning of the, you know, this commentary. Yeah, you know, where Ansem showed up for the first time going, you understand so little, and, one who knows nothing can understand nothing, yada yada yada. Yeah, but basically, Ansem's appearance there wasn't really random, because he was initially intended to be an old man who lived on the Destiny Islands, who left Sora messages across his travels in Kingdom Hearts 1, that's, yeah. Yeah, he was pretty much meant to be sort of like a guiding caretaker, so to speak, which is actually quite interesting, and would later be adapted again in, you know, much later on with Xehanort's caretaker in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, which, does have a lot of spoilery aspects, but again, I suppose I might as well talk about it for the sake of itself, but, yeah, to get a little bit into Xehanort's past, basically, you know, as with a lot of Keyblade wielders, Missing Link probably would have gone into this a little bit as well, but, yeah, basically Xehanort's mother ended up giving him up as, you know, a potential child of Destiny, and, yeah, gave him to Xehanort's caretaker, took him to Destiny Islands to basically raise and live out a normal childhood. And, then when Xehanort's caretaker passed away, well, yeah, that was basically when the events of the game picked up, and, you know, he had the whole visit from Ansem Seeker of Darkness, and was ostensibly set towards, well, the world that you saw at the beginning of the game, where Keyblade wielders trained, and, you know, he met Eriquus. So yes, what a tangled web we weave as we explore these islands and learn more about our friends, or rather, enemies. Gerblamo! So many freaking crabs! We... to explore the deep seas. Well, that's pretty much all the normal trivia we have at this rate, so back to pirate trivia, I suppose. If I can find anything slightly more interesting, I mean, we do still have, you know, a fair amount of part left to go. Yeah, I guess I might as well go into some of the more legalese grey areas of piracy, because, yeah, around this time, piracy was quite rampant. And again, it was a bit of an era that was very difficult to sort of police and enforce law. And I mean, again, you still see bits of this even today with, you know, international waters and, you know, all sorts of, you know, other sorts of grey areas that, you know, certain countries can't really police, at least, you know, not without like a sort of Interpol jurisdiction or whatever. But, I mean, even in that case, though, like, I mean, I suppose you do need, like, a lot of warrants and a lot of, you know, significant reasons in order to go there, because, I mean, again, I guess for a country or any foreign government to really go after, you know, things in illegal waters, it's kind of like, especially in piracy's case, it's sort of like, you know, having the FBI try and, you know, track down, like, a crime syndicate just to get $10 back from a druggie or whatever, but, yeah, I mean, in olden times, yeah, part of the reason why it was a bit of a grey area and sort of more or less left to its own devices in some cases, unless there was some really big legalese involved, was mainly because it was very lucrative for merchant trade and privateering with, again, you know, a lot of, the economic aspects being handled by both those law-abiding and those of criminal, which was all good for business, so, yeah, indeed, in terms of trading commodities, it was very lucrative for business, which, again, if you want to talk about piracy in terms of the online variety these days, not much has changed. Yeah, but I mean, again, it does sort of show the sort of grey area where, again, you know, depending on what sort of pirates you were, you're either doing it for, specifically for trade, or, you know, you were slightly more brutish and basically taking things by force, so... Yeah, I guess in terms of, you know, the varieties of pirate that you heard of over the years, you know, like, brutal warmongering tyrants, or, you know, I mean, even Vikings, really, which, I mean, in the 10th century were basically code word for Norse pirates, essentially. Yeah. It's, again, you get very different breeds of pirates, which I guess does also sort of give, credence to the whole... I guess sort of the romantic angle, you know, that I'm sure a lot of women read up about in the, you know, ye olden times about, you know, the dashing, handsome rogue pirate that made her swoon and took her away from her life of scurvy and gangrene and, you know, poor affliction. Yeah, so many varieties of pirates. Up to and including the... I can't remember what it was, but there was like a parody thing that was like, hang on a second, good pirates never steal, which goes against the complete code of the pirate. After all, are you really a pirate if you're not being a thief? Who knows, really? I don't know, it is interesting to think about what a vast variety of pirates that you get to see and enjoy. Some are brutish, some are traitors, and others are handsome rogues. They're so handsome. But in any case, though, this is probably the biggest island that you really get to explore, and I guess if I could sort of talk turkey about what sort of level design... Yeah, they do sparse in, like, bits and pieces of, you know, a lot of Sora's unique abilities. Again, you get a bit of wall running, you get, you know, diving down to explode treasure chests. So, yeah. Again, they pepper in small bits of exploration between, you know, bits and pieces of commu, which is, I suppose, part of the reason why... You know, traveling long distances by ship isn't really as strenuous as it otherwise would be, because, you know, I mean, again, you get enough to explore, you have enough to keep your mind at ease with, you know, ship-based gameplay, and oh, here we go. Is it her? Boobs! Princess Boobs, you're back! Boobs! Although I don't think I really utilize this ability as much as I otherwise should, but, yeah, this is Seaside Spectacle where Princess Boobs basically lets you go up and down, and yeah, you pretty much launch out attacks like that. And yeah, Sora has a little dance with Princess Boobs! Once again showing a lot of their chemistry and why I still ship Sora and Ariel, not as much as Sora and Riku, mind you, but it's a good second couple. And basically, you get like a little spread area where, again, you can pretty much pepper the arena with all sorts of water jets, and bada bing, you do the thing and you can take out a vast amount of enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much the breaks right there. Putting all that aside though, it's shit, I forgot what I was talking about. I think I was talking about the level design, in which case I pretty much said my piece. Bit of exploration, bit of platforming, a little bit of violence. So overall, again, it pretty much balances your regular gameplay loop with something new and, you know, interesting use of your mechanics, so... Overall, when it comes to letting off the leash in this level, it's pretty much sound as a pound, using everything that you pretty much learned up to this point, so... Yeah, I know I should be saving this towards the end, but, yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, man. Very good level, and it's, quite sound as a pound, really. Criblamo! Shining the light! Oh, is that pretty much it? That pretty much leads us back... Oh, no, wait, no, this is the hidden area. We finally get to explore more of this pirately land of landy things. Oh yeah, and if the Tarzan World heartless fuckers pretty much drop a coconut in your head, yeah, you pretty much end up, you know, just getting completely buggered. Yeah, by the way, actually, I was, again, back on our typical, what Final Fantasy characters could fit over here. Yeah, I already did pretty much point out, you know, Lila and Faris from Final Fantasy V. But yeah, I was also thinking back to Deep Jungle, actually, and a character that could have potentially appeared there from the Final Fantasy series, and that would have been Gal from Final Fantasy VI. Who, again, was basically a child who was pretty much abandoned in the wild, and, you know, does have a lot of, like, enemy mimicry abilities, you know, basically him mimicking beasts that he saw out in the open field, so... Yeah, Gal in the Tarzan world could have potentially been a pretty good fit for that one. Oh dear, but yeah, is there anything else? I was also trying to think about who could have potentially fit for the Monsters Inc. board in terms of Final Fantasy characters. If I didn't say it there, then I might as well bring it up now, just for the sake of padding out for time. I am trying to think who could potentially fit, but the only two games that are coming to mind is Final Fantasy 9 or... well yeah, Final Fantasy 9 really, in terms of who could potentially show up there. Actually, no, I suppose Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII could potentially show up there as, like, sort of a anthropomorphized version, perhaps? I don't know. There we go, and we finally get to showcase this, you know, the Blizzard Claws Keyblade in action, as we skate around. I suppose to kind of talk about the crabs a little bit more, which pretty much started all about throughout the islands. Again, I do respawn, so again, if you head back towards certain islands, you can pretty much, you know, head back towards specific spots to grind crabs if you so choose. But, yeah, putting all that aside, though, yeah. It's not quite as tedious to grind crabs as you might think, because again, they are pretty much everywhere, and again, you will eventually level up the ship sooner or later, so... Yeah, not really too much to worry about in that aspect. Yes indeedy, finding more ingredients. Come on, Sora. Yeah, I don't think there's really too much to find else there, and, nearly 34 minutes. Not quite as bad as I otherwise would have thought it would have been, but, yeah, still have quite a bit of time left to go, which is what I was worried about because of running out of things to say. Oh, what's the Spoils of War? Oh, another Classic Kingdom game. Yeah, the Classic Kingdom will probably also be a part of its own, mainly because I also still have yet to collect all the minigames of that, even at this point in recording, but... Yeah, don't worry. Actually, I probably should have cut out this little segment as well. Yeah, I'm pretty much just collecting crabs at this rate, so, should I cut it out? Nah, fuck it, I'm too lazy. I'm already pretty much going through this at this rate anyway, so whatever. Any other pirate trivia? Oh, I only have one left. It is a bit of an interesting piece of trivia, but, let's see. That's right, later in the game. What else do I have? Damn it! I don't really have much else. I mean, the thing I might have already brought up, damn it, I haven't got anything. Oh, dearie me. And now the craving sets in. I suppose if I could make one little complaint, well, I mean, not necessarily a complaint, since again, I guess it technically didn't appear in the movie either. Possibly, but, yeah, the only real complaint in terms of music that I really have about Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is, well, really that, yeah, they don't play the traditional dun 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 music in terms of battle, which again is epic as hell and, you know, quite a fun theme to battle with, but, this was not meant to be. And, by the way, this, I believe, is, the island in which you can grind for, Wellspring Crystals, so, yeah. Again, if you're looking to grind Wellspring Crystal for the ultimate weapon, have at it. It was either that or Lucid Crystal, I can't quite remember which is which, but either way, you do need it, and, this island is a great place to grind for it, unless, of course, you're willing to do some of the battle gates, which, yeah, it's basically just sort of little challenge modes where you fight a whole bunch of Heartless. And I guess it's pretty much there to sort of be in lieu of your traditional, like, arena combat sort of gameplay location akin to, you know, Mirage Arena, Olympus Coliseum, that kind of thing. But yeah, basically fight these Heartless and you get some delicious synthesis items, and yeah, it's also a pretty good grinding spot because they give a hell of a lot of XP, and yeah, you also have another lucky emblem, this time in the shape of those rocks over there. Delicious.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
Yes, indeed, Donald, and while you find those ingredients, I am also going to take a shit. Goodbye. Arr, matey, I be back, after releasing me bowels on the poop deck. By the way, again, another bit of pirate trivia, that's not actually what the poop deck is for, it's, actually, I don't know, but either way, I know that you don't go to the toilet there. Which I'm sure is what many of us were thinking back when we were wee lads and children, because tee-hee hoddle ha poop. That's, yeah, in any case, so, I thought I would have had more trivia on that, but alas, I do not, so, alack and alas, no poop deck for us, but, yes indeedy. I'd imagined, adequate toilet facilities while out at sea probably would have been, well, I don't know, the equivalent of dropping your trousers and, letting your waste fall into the ocean for the fish to consume. But yeah, well, to talk about anything else, really. Oh, here we go again! Boobs! Princess Boobs! Had to get one more in there. Immature as it might be, and as offensive to some female viewers as it might be, whatever. Boobs! It's been a long-running joke throughout all the Kingdom Hearts commentaries, and may in fact continue to be if Ariel shows up in Kingdom Hearts 4 as a summon or what have you. In any case though, this is, I don't know, Sandfucker Island, where basically you're pretty much being attacked by a lot of these earthen creatures. And, well, if nothing else, you're pretty much just, yeah, that was pretty much the shotlock attack for, you know, Happy Gear. But yeah, you're pretty much being attacked by sandworms galore, so yeah, take them down. This might be where I potentially show off the goofy bombardier attack where you basically feed one of the sandworms, you know, goofy and then have them rip their insides out. Which is actually a lot more metal than Spy than I fucking thought before, but hey, that's just how badass Goofy is. But, yeah, I suppose I don't really have any other choice in this case, but, yeah, it's time to unload the final bit of pirate trivia that I have in my arsenal, and, again, I was hoping to sort of dole it out at the 40-minute mark, which we are getting close to, but, yeah, I might not have much of a choice, really. So, fuck it, here it is. Yeah, Roman Emperor Julius Caesar was once captured by Mediterranean pirates, and, yeah, you might be thinking that he would be completely at their mercy, but alack and alas, no! He in fact charmed the crew into looking after him until his ransom was paid, seemingly getting on quite well with a lot of his pirately captors, and, yeah, parted company on seemingly good terms, saying that, I'll have you all killed once I've returned. So again, everybody pretty much laughed it off because, you know, what exactly can one Julius Caesar, you know, a Roman emperor do against, you know, an army of pirates, you know, of the Yarahara Fiddle-Dee-Dee? Oh, by the way, this is the Goofy Bombardier attack. Fuck yeah, that is sick as hell, dude. But in any case, yes, to get back to our story about Julius Caesar, yeah, he actually ended up making good on his promise, because when he came back with his naval force in tow, he ended up crucifying the pirates and, you know, essentially killing them, and plundered the ship of its treasures, including his own ransom, and basically ended up getting it back. So yeah, Julius Caesar. Who exactly is more dangerous, a deranged Roman Empire or the pirates? Well, I mean, then again, I suppose it is also a case of, you know, attracting, you know, more flies with honey than with vinegar, but, yeah, the manipulation game. Then again, I mean, the Roman Emperor also had its own faults, but, you know, that's more of a long-standing problem as opposed to, you know, playing the short-term game, which, you know, the pirates seem to be playing, and weren't aware that they were dealing with a master. But yeah, apart from that, there's basically just treasure chests to obtain, crabs to eat. Yes, indeedy. Don't have too many islands to really explore at this stage, but I think we do have one more. And I was really hoping that Julius Caesar anecdote would probably have lasted me a little bit longer, but yes, still got a fair bit to go, unfortunately, so from this moment on, we're pretty much just going to be winging it. But yeah, if you destroy like a lot of the coconuts or stuff up on the trees, you basically end up getting like a lot of health points and, you know, MP back, so yeah. You basically get little refills here and there. If you don't happen to be near a save point, or you end up running out of elixirs and, you know, potions, ethers, mega ethers, mega potions. And this is Exile Island, a rather important island to behold, not only because of the fact that it has a lot of crabs, that's pretty much the most experience you're going to be getting out of them, but in turn a lot of enemies to defeat, and indeed the location of an Orichalcum Plus that you'll be seeing, well, as we continue to play through here. So, yeah. If you want your Orichalcum Plus, Exile Island is the place to be, and, yeah, there you go. Arrow. The most powerful of magics. But in any case, though, all that aside, yeah. And if you're thinking we could ride on one of those, like, little wind-up toy Heartless flying about, as we did during the boss fight against, the Giant Claw, ostensibly, no, you're sadly mistaken. And by Giant Claw, I'm talking about that giant bird-like creature that, we fought, you know, right back at the beginning of Pirate Land. Which also bears resemblance to that terrible-looking puppet from the 1950s movie of the same name. Oh, dearie me. And, yeah, we're also collecting, like, a lot of food here and there, but, yeah, there we go, Orichalcum Plus. As it was meant to be. So, yeah, in terms of a lot of your Orichalcum Pluses, I think you've pretty much gotten, up to this point, everything that you should really need. At least on the critical path, anyway. I think the only thing left to really get it in terms of anything else would be, again, the Flam minigames, if you haven't tackled all of them already. And I guess depending on whether you've done it or not, like the postcard in Twilight Town, which admittedly is a little bit RNG, although, again, you should technically get it sooner rather than later. And, yeah, everything else after that is pretty much, Gami ship related, and or, endgame related. Because, yeah, there is actually one piece of Orichalcum Plus that you can't actually get until a certain threshold once you get to the final world of the game, so, yeah, and I mean that in more ways than one. Now, how exactly do those crabs get up there? I don't think trees are their natural habitat, but who am I to question anything really? Yeah, you know what, I guess I might as well say this for the sake of at least having something to say, is that, yeah, the white crabs, they're basically related to Teodama, and, yeah, she's not exactly what she claims to be, and you'll be seeing her true presence, well, actually, I think in the next part, really. But in terms of anything else, yeah, those crabs also have special abilities, in this case giving you mastery of the sea, so I might have already explained this beforehand, but, yeah, whatever, basically, yes, mastery over the sea. Under the sea, with you and me. Simple and clean is simply the way to be, tonight. mixing up song lyrics, because fuck it, why not? But yeah, this is very much the final island that we really had to visit, and from here on out, it's indeedy onwards to our final destination, which is basically to follow the fog. And yeah, in essence, we'll pretty much be heading towards the final battle of Pirates of the Caribbean, The World's End, which wasn't the final Pirates of the Caribbean. That would be, I can't really remember, it wasn't on Stranger Tides, was it, or... whatever, it was the one where basically everybody up to and including Johnny Depp ended up running out of steam, although I do believe he was dealing with like a lot of marriage issues at the time. But that's you know, a bit of controversial trivia that I really don't want to cross at any stretch of the imagination, so yeah. Nothing here nor there in this case, but in any case, on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Kingdom Hearts 3 commentary, well, prepare for epic battles.
Luxord!
You do know how to make good time. Yes, one must simply marvel at your celerity. But such compulsive behavior is eventually going to bring you nothing but sorrow.
Lost him again!
How are we gonna go after him?
First, get those harmless.
Right!